Something just happened in deep space, and it's unlike anything we've seen before. The interstellar object 3I/ATLAS has reportedly changed its course, and now the United Nations Planetary Defense Network has stepped in for the first time in history. Why now? What did they find that made them move this fast? Could this object be more than just a comet? The data is real, and the implications are staggering. Let's dive right in. It began like any other observation, a faint streak of light catalogued, tracked, and mostly ignored. For months, 3I/ATLAS was just another cosmic visitor, cold, distant, predictable. But then, the numbers stopped making sense. When observatories across Europe and South America rechecked its position in early October, they expected confirmation of NASA's models. Instead, they found something impossible. 3I/ATLAS wasn't where it was supposed to be. It had shifted by more than 1 million kilometers. That's not a minor error. That's an object rewriting the rules of orbital mechanics. And then something even stranger happened. The United Nations-endorsed Asteroid Warning Network, or IAWN, suddenly issued a global alert. For the first time in history, it placed an interstellar object under active planetary defense surveillance. No press conference, no public explanation. Just a silent order. Track 3I/ATLAS. Continuously. Report any deviation. Why now? Why an object that's not even near Earth? That question alone lit up the entire astronomy community. Independent astronomers, many of them amateurs with world-class gear, double-checked the data. What they found sent chills down every professional's spine. The deviation wasn't random. 3I/ATLAS had moved ahead of its predicted path, not behind. In space dynamics, that's like an airplane suddenly sidestepping midair, with no visible engines. Gravity couldn't explain it, solar radiation couldn't explain it, even outgassing, the usual culprit for comet drift, didn't fit. Because this movement wasn't chaotic, it was precise. To move an object that massive by 1 million kilometers in less than a week would require nearly 4 kilometers per second of lateral velocity, the kind of acceleration only propulsion could generate. But propulsion from what? Days later, telescopes captured a breathtaking image, a narrow, concentrated jet firing toward the sun. That shouldn't happen. Comets eject matter away from sunlight as they heat up, never toward it. And yet, 3I/ATLAS did. Within hours, it developed a second conventional tail, perfectly symmetrical. The change was so fast, so clean, that even Dr. Avi Loeb, the Harvard astrophysicist known for his bold thinking, reconsidered his earlier skepticism. Loeb had planned to downgrade Atlas's alien artifact probability from 4 to 2 on his scale. After this event, he paused. Because natural comets simply don't switch behavior like that. Was the object responding to solar pressure? Or, as some theorized, was it maneuvering? Meanwhile, silence from NASA grew louder. Several Mars orbiters had captured high-resolution photos of 3I/ATLAS during its close pass, far clearer than anything from Earth-based instruments. But none of those images were released. When asked, JPL sources said the material was under internal review. Unofficially, some insiders claimed the images showed something structured, and that's where the real suspicion began. Because the object didn't just pass Mars, it lined up perfectly with Mars, Venus, and Jupiter in a single razor-sharp trajectory. The odds of that happening by chance? 0.005%. A coincidence, or something designed. Then came the chemical data. Spectral analysis revealed unusual nickel-rich alloys, the kind of material found in spacecraft heat shields, not in comets. Even stranger, the nickel-to-cyanide ratio was off the charts, far beyond anything ever measured in natural objects. Loeb listed 8 features that made Atlas statistically impossible to classify as a typical comet. Its speed and mass exceeded both Oumuamua and Borisov. It contained only 4% water, compared to 80% in normal comets. Its light polarization didn't match any known object, and most intriguingly, it came from the same direction as the famous 1977 WOW radio signal. No one wanted to say it out loud, but the implication was clear. Something about this object didn't feel natural. On that day, the IAWN issued its official tracking directive. Astronomers immediately compared JPL predictions with live data and found another shocking offset. Right ascension, declination, all off by margins too large to dismiss. Over the next 19 hours, the gap widened again. That meant continuous acceleration, continuous power. To put it in perspective, the only way for a natural object to do that would be if it expelled massive amounts of material in one direction, like a jet engine firing in space. But observations showed no such debris trail, just clean movement, smooth, deliberate, controlled. That's when even skeptics began to whisper, what if it's not drifting, but steering? Within 2 days, telescopes from more than 40 nations began targeting 3 I/ATLAS. This wasn't just science anymore, it was planetary security. Because when the world's top defense network moves this fast, it's never without reason. The International Asteroid Warning Network, normally focused on known threats like Apophis or Bennu, was now mobilizing hundreds of instruments, all pointed at a single interstellar visitor. They even scheduled a workshop on comet trajectory correction methods, requiring registration by November 7th. Officially, it's an exercise to test new techniques. Unofficially, it looks like preparation. Then, silence. As 3 I/ATLAS moved behind the sun, it disappeared. No signal, no visual trace, a perfect blackout. For now, all we can do is wait until early November, when it should emerge from the sun's glare. If it reappears where predictions say, this will be another mysterious but harmless cometary anomaly. But if it doesn't, if its path bends inward toward Earth's orbital plane, the narrative changes completely. At that point, it won't be a question of curiosity. It will be a question of defense. Let's take stock of what we know. Not wild theories, just documented facts. A 1,000,000-kilometer deviation with measurable directionality. Anomalous jets firing toward the sun. Industrial-grade nickel composition. A statistically impossible planetary alignment. A sudden UN-led defense operation. Individually, each could have a natural explanation. Together, they form a pattern that's hard to ignore. Even if 3 I/ATLAS turns out to be a natural object, it's already changing how humanity watches the sky. For the first time, we're treating an interstellar visitor not as a curiosity, but as a potential event. And that shift in mindset might be the most important part of this story. Because whether this thing is alien, artificial, or just a cosmic mystery, one truth remains. It made the entire planet look up again. Whatever 3 I/ATLAS turns out to be, an extraordinary comet or something far beyond our understanding, one fact remains. It's forcing humanity to look deeper into the universe than ever before. This event reminds us that space is not empty. It's alive with questions we've only just begun to ask. If you believe discoveries like this matter, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Galactic Breaking News for more verified, thought-driven investigations. And remember to turn on notifications, because when 3 I/ATLAS reappears, Future Space will be the first to bring you the truth.